Welcome to the world around us. And I'm your host, Beatriz Caraballo. We're going to talk today about the Pearl of Africa. Beautiful place where a friend of mine travels every year. The population of the Pearl of Africa, Uganda, is over 45 million. In Kampala, which is the capital and largest city in Uganda, there are over 1.6 million. An average salary is $18,555 per year. Today, I'm bringing a very good friend of mine here because I wanted you to hear her amazing stories and they're just gonna blow mind you, okay? They're gonna blow your mind because the stories, as she tells me when she comes back from her trips, I just sit there in awe of all the amazing work that this woman does in Africa. The mission of Impacting Villages in Africa Ministries is to promote health, economic development, humanitarian relief, and education in the impoverished regions of Africa. The vision is to foster the needs of impoverished children and family by giving them the means to build healthy, sustainable communities for themselves. Remember that, for themselves. There's a purpose to what she's doing. The Word of God is ministered by my amazing, beautiful friend, Esther Turner. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
Every time that you join me in a project, I just love it because the stories that you tell me are just so mind-blowing and so amazing. The children, the families, what you're doing. So tell me first a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother.
Yes, I saw that.
And I have an amazing mother who is almost 90 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I have my poppy, who is my present-day dad, who is 92. And my beloved late father, the Honorable Matthew S. Turner, who actually inspired me in so many amazing ways.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get into it a little bit more later on in terms of how I'm actually following his footsteps and doing the work of the people and the work of God in that region. I belong to Christian Faith Assembly Church, where I am a minister there. And my pastor is Dr. Maurice Randolph. He's the senior pastor. And our assistant pastor is Dr. Joe Mitchell. I've been at that church for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And have been involved in many different positions there along the way during that time period. I was a former president of the women's ministry there. I was his administrator at one point, the senior pastor's administrator at one point, and various other things that I do. I'm a professor at Word of Grace Ministry of School, and just many other things. But, you know, it's not really all about that. Really, my passion is what I'm doing right now, and that is to touch the lives of those precious children in Uganda, and also be a resource and an asset to the people in general to help them help themselves.
And that's what I like, is that she doesn't always, there's no Esther in what she does. In the Impacting Villages in Africa, there's no Esther. There's only her mission, her vision, and her goal. She sets it, and she goes after it. She's determined, she's focused, and she stays positive no matter how difficult the situation. She's helped me many times at night when there's something difficult going on, and we'll start texting, and she'll immediately call me and pray. I love when she does this. That is what I love about her. There's no Esther in what she does. So tell me about your trips. It's soon to come.
Yes, so the trips are amazing. I go once a year. In some cases, if there are major projects on ground, I may go 2 times a year,
Oh,
so that I can go back and check on those things. It's very important because I not only fund myself, but supporters also help me
mm-hmm,
in my journey. So it's very important to be transparent.
mm-hmm.
And so supporters are entrusting me with their monies so that we can put in water tankers, so that we can provide the sanitary pads for the girls, and so that we can take care of the street ministry that we partner with a wonderful, amazing young man over there who is the youth pastor of this particular project. And so I have to be accountable. And the way that I know how to be accountable is to make sure that I check on these projects and to make sure that these projects are doing what they supposed to be doing. So generally speaking, it's once a year, and I am scheduled to go in a few weeks. There may be some small challenges because of what we're facing now all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to make sure that we are safe
Mm-hmm. Before taking the trip.
before
Yes.
taking the trip. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, but once this all calms down and we see clearly the path that we need to take in terms of travel, then we'll be going. I'm excited because this time I'm taking 2 people with me.
Oh,
Yes, I'm very
that's so
excited.
different.
Yeah, my best friend is going, and her daughter-in-law is going on this trip with me. So it's just an amazing time. It's an amazing experience. Senada and Madeline is going with us. So I just wanted to mention their names so that they can feel very special about
Yeah.
this amazing journey.
It
Yes,
is.
yes.
I mean, every time you come back and you tell me something new that you've done, or a new child that you've encountered, you've fallen in love with so many babies
know,
over there.
Yeah, I just love it. I love it.
I had the privilege of recreating her website, and listening to the stories were amazing. But when you see the videos, the footage, small footages, just glimpse of what she sees, it just brings it so real,
Yes. Yeah.
so real. How do you continuously do this and not break down?
Because it's a calling. Mission work on foreign soil is not for everybody. You have to know that this is what God has called you to do. Otherwise, if you just kind of want to do it because you think it's a wonderful thing to do, you could be faced with many unexpected challenges. The climate is different. It's a third world country. Um, you know, the temperature is not like ours. And so many other things. Watching, the poor, which is something that not all of us are familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of used to our own comfort zones.
Yes.
And so when you take yourself out of that into a different region, you need to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I know that God has called me to be his ambassador. And I have to represent very well.
Yes.
And I cannot disappoint him. I cannot disappoint the people of Uganda, who expects me to be there for them, to be able to take them to another level of where they really cannot go without some sort of guidance and some sort of direction. And I can't disappoint myself.
Yeah.
So, it's a challenge. I'm not saying that it's easy, but nothing that God puts your hands to do will always be easy.
Right.
You're going to have those challenges. And so when you go through that, it builds character and strengthens you. And what I have found that even in the most difficult, dark days of not knowing what I was going to do, how I was going to raise the money, how I was going to even sustain myself while I'm over there, because maybe I don't have enough money. I don't share that with everybody. I just go and do God's work.
Exactly.
And God undoubtedly shows up for me, even if it's at the last minute when I'm ready to throw in the towel and say, I can't do this anymore, he just shows up in such an amazing way that you know it's him.
Yes.
You know how sometimes you
Yes.
question yourself and you say, well, maybe my season is over, or, is this really what I'm supposed to do? Maybe I'm mistaken. And then God will get you right to that point where you feel you need to move on into another direction, saying, oh, no, not yet. I'm not finished
done
with you.
Yes.
You've got a lot more work to
Amen.
do.
Yep.
And I'm here to let you know that I'm standing by your side and I'm going to pave the way for you.
Yes.
So that's what drives me. That's what fuels me, my conviction to do this work, my passion, and the compassion that I have for those people. They're our people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I have a heart for them, and the impact that we're making in the lives of those people
It's so important.
is so important. But all the glory and all of the honor belongs to
Only
God.
Him.
Because I can't do this on my own. The average person cannot just do this on their own. So I have to give God all the honor and all the glory for what He has done in this ministry.
Amen.
Yeah.
Paint us the picture, just a day in Africa.
Okay. So I have a schedule, and each day you have to be organized when you're doing this work. You have to know you can't just go and just at a whim just decide that you're going to go.
Nothing's going to go right.
No.
No.
And plus,
Doesn't work that way.
Again, they're a little different than we are. They don't keep time the same way we do.
Okay.
They're very relaxed. They're very, no problem. Take it easy. And before you know it, if you don't have a schedule plan, the day is gone. And so you've not accomplished anything.
Oh.
So we have maybe each day 2 or 3 things that we're doing. Like we may go to an orphanage. We may feed the children. Another location, we may minister the Word of God. We may have a conference, a teen conference. Actually, we're getting ready to have a teen conference coming up when I go this time. Yeah, it's amazing. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. But so we have, I have to rent transportation so that we can go to the various places. And, I hire a driver to take us to where we need to go. We go in the village, and every place we go, they greet us so nicely. The children are dancing, and
I saw the videos.
Yes, and
they will perform.
I'm telling you,
their culture is so beautiful.
So beautiful,
and to present it to her, it's an honor.
Yeah,
they are welcoming Mother Esther home, back home.
Yes,
because it's back home. She's coming back home.
Yes.
It's not, I'm here to visit and hello, how are you? I'm leave now. No, she's coming back home. And those children are so proud and so happy to see her every single time she goes. Those videos are just beautiful.
I don't know if you remember seeing the one video where we were at this church called Holy Mountain Church. And it's right down the street from where we have our piggery project. And it's very, very, very deep, deep, deep in the village. And the kids were greeting me as I was coming. They saw the van coming. And so they were all lined up, and they make 2 lines, and they have you go through the middle line. And they just make you feel so special. And a couple of the kids were dressed up in banana peelings. I guess, banana peelings. Because, they have, they're natural farmers.
Right.
So they have this banana farm, and they took the leaves from the banana.
To make the outfits.
To make outfits.
Yes.
And it was just so amazing, the creativity that these kids have. I mean, most of these kids don't even know that they are poor.
They don't realize
it
at all.
And so when they know a visitor, they call us visitors. When they know a visitor is coming, and when they know Mommy Esther, they call me affectionately Mommy Esther, is coming, they go all out to have their programs and plays, and just it's such an amazing time.
You get a welcome like you should.
Thank you.
A queen mommy.
Thank you.
Because she comes, and I think they know the van is coming. She's here. Get in line. Hurry. And I saw one of the videos, and one of the adults is like, she here, come on. And I see her scooting the kids around, and they started dancing as
Yeah.
soon as you came out of the
Yeah.
van. And I'm like, oh my
I
goodness,
know.
so
It's
beautiful.
so
I'm a
amazing.
mess, yeah.
It's so
Beatrice
amazing.
is a mess.
And so what we do is when we get there, we don't go there just for them to sing to us and to perform, although that's what they do.
That's
We go-
that's a thank you to you.
Yeah, that's a thank you. And
Yeah.
that's a welcome.
Right.
And then they make signs, we welcome.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
But we go there to serve.
Right.
And so with each village, I bring a suitcase because I know what that particular village
Mhm.
needs. Every village has different needs.
Okay.
So, like for this particular church, there's a lot of kids there. It's very, very deprived in that area. And we bring toys, we bring clothes, we bring sandals, coloring books, those kinds of items. And then my son Joseph, my Ugandan son Joseph, and my daughter Brenda, they travel along with me on the mission field if they're not in school.
Mm.
And I try to time these trips so that, they're
So
on
they can
their
be with
spring
you.
break,
Mhm.
break so that they can be with
Mhm.
me. And you saw pictures of them laying the clothes out and we're
Mhm.
working together. And then because they know those kids
Right.
and they know who needs what and what sizes and
Mhm.
all of that. And these kids are so grateful, even some of them that don't are not able to receive
Mm.
because maybe we don't have their size. They don't get upset about it. They don't pout. They don't get angry or anything. They're just grateful for the blessings of
Mhm.
others.
Mhm.
But we have different those Mardi Gras beads that
Yeah.
comes
I
like
saw
three in a
them.
pack. Yeah. So we give that out. We have the horns, and the kids
They love all that.
they just tear up the place
Yeah.
and just be with the
Because they're grateful.
they're so grateful.
When we're here, we're spoiled.
Yes.
I keep saying it. We're spoiled. We have too much.
Too much.
Too much. Too much of things that we don't even need.
Right. And we throw them away when
Yes.
we get tired of them.
You buy a pair of sneakers and like 2 weeks later, because it's not the brand name
Right.
of the week,
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, trash. What do you mean trash?
Yes.
Somebody else could be using them.
Yes.
First be grateful that you have
Right.
that. And then appreciate it enough to give it to someone else that may need it.
Yes.
Because someone else may not have that blessing that you have.
That's right.
And so I love how appreciative they are.
Yeah.
You give them, I remember seeing a little kid and you gave him this little tiny toy because you couldn't find his size.
Okay.
And it was a little, I've never seen a little kid so happy in my life.
I know.
He was blowing the thing and
yeah.
blowing and playing with it, and I'm thinking, he's not crying.
Yeah.
He's not.
Because they're grateful.
Yes.
They're really grateful.
And
and
that's how it should be.
And they understand the principles of the Word of God. These kids are taught the Bible from the time they can talk, by the time they can walk.
That makes a difference.
And because that's all they have.
Mhm.
It's their God. Many of the kids can't go to school because school fees is a very, very big issue there. Their parents or their aunties or uncles or neighboring families that support them in their homes can't afford it. They can't afford it. And so that's why also we wanted to create sustainable projects for them so that they can help themselves and not wait for Americans and Europeans to come there and give them
Right.
everything. Because when you give them everything, then they become dependent on
Right.
you. And you don't want that for them. You want them to begin to be self-sufficient and take care of themselves.
And that was the first thing you told me when we met.
Mhm.
I don't want them dependent on anybody.
No,
I wanted them to be independent
exactly.
and to be able to thrive on their own. I don't want them waiting for me to come back.
Right.
I want them to be doing something while I'm gone. And when I come back, I'm just celebrating
Right.
what they're doing.
Exactly.
And I loved how you put that because it's great that they're honoring you. It's great that they're appreciative of you. But you're not making yourself a god.
Right.
And many organizations create themselves as a god.
Yes.
That's no.
Yeah.
And that's not what you do.
No.
You actually want them to thrive by themselves.
That's right.
So I love the first project you started out with, the Piggery Project.
Yes.
Tell us about that
Yeah.
one.
So when our organization started in 2012, Impacting Villages in Africa Ministries, although I've been doing the work for 16 years on ground, I started out earlier with another
Okay.
organization, and we worked together, and then God put a passion in my heart to do some things on ground. He wanted me to have something for the people that they can call their own. And so I thought and prayed about it, and I said, well, let me think about something that they can relate to, something that's not going to be difficult, something that's not extravagant, because they're limited
Too complicated.
in terms of bigger things. So these people are natural farmers, the villagers. They are natural farmers. So they know how to rear pigs, they know how to rear cows, they know how to rear chickens, and all of that.
True.
So I didn't want to get over my head with starting out with cows and things like that, because that becomes
much.
expensive,
Yeah.
and it's just a lot of work.
Too much.
So I said, why not, we start out with some piglets, and we can, have a male pig, a female pig, and they can mate. And then once they go through the breeding process, then we can teach them not to eat their seed. Because once you breed with the pigs, they could have maybe 10, 15, 20, 25 piglets.
Oh.
So why not just keep a few for yourself?
Right.
Because then you can take those. Some of them you can, they slaughter them
multiply.
and eat. And then you can also take a few and just breed again
Exactly.
and have for yourself. But what about the other pigs that are there? Why not sell?
True.
Now
Perfect.
I'm getting them to think outside of the box. And
Create
not
a
just
business.
as a business.
Yes.
And start your own business.
Yes. Love it.
And this is exactly what happened. I taught them how to do this, not as far as the farming, because they know that, but the principle of selling, the principle also of giving back to the ministry. So when we give a piglet to a family that is deprived, the elderly, the head of household, somebody with AIDS,
Okay.
we specify specifically what it is and who we're going to give these pigs to, because we don't want to give it to someone who drinks a lot and they're going to go sell it and drink more. So we want to give it to those people who really need it.
Right. Because you don't want to create more problems.
Right.
You're trying to get rid of their problems.
Right, exactly. So we had specific guidelines set up for them to follow. And basically, when they receive a pig, they take that pig and they go through the breeding process with the male pig or the female pig. And then once they produce, they bring one back to the ministry.
Oh.
So that we can continue
Okay.
to grow and multiply. And now we can help even more people in the village.
And it has grown.
It has grown.
Because Mama and Papa Pig were big.
Yes. Now let me tell you about Mama and Papa Pig, because I've got
The originals.
Yeah, the originals. The originals, I have to give credit to my cousin, my first cousin, Donna. And when I first started this project, she said, Esther, I love what you're going to do over there. I'm going to sponsor 2 pigs. And it's $40 a pig, that's all.
Oh, wow.
So we bought 2 female hybrid pigs with that money that she gave us. And then we bought a male pig. And I'm telling you, this is how you know that God is in it, because those pigs started producing and producing and producing. They were texting me and telling me, oh, Mommy, they're pregnant. We just had 15. And then, oh, Mommy, we're pregnant again. They had another 10. Oh, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going to have a farm. It was so exciting. And I thank God for my pastor, Pastor Nasuba Gawan, Bishop.
Yes.
He monitors along with my
Love
children.
his energy.
Yes. he monitors these projects, and when I'm back home, he has meetings with them, motivate them. Obviously there's some challenges, when I leave.
In
When
every
I'm there,
business.
yes.
Mhm.
He's always there. Bishop, thank you so much. If you're watching this, thank you so much for all that you do for this ministry and for standing by our side, actually for the 15 years, 16 years of my journey.
Wow.
So he's not just here during the time that we have Impact in Villages, but from the very beginning. And we love you so much and we appreciate you so much. It's very important that we show honor where
Absolutely.
honor is due.
Absolutely.
And he has really been our hero and has been our foundation, so that these projects can continue on with the vision that God has given me. So yeah, the pigs. We started that project in 2012. The project went on for 3 years, and then because we want to teach them how to fish,
Yeah.
and then they will be able to sustain themselves for a lifetime.
Themselves in the community that they live in.
Yes, yes.
Because now you're teaching them how to help another family.
Right.
And that family, another family.
Exactly.
And so you're changing not the mind of just one family, but a whole village.
A whole village. And they have testaments. I don't know if you had a chance to look at some of the videos in prior years where they've come back and they've, each time I go, those people come that receive the pigs and they talk about their businesses that they have.
Yeah,
now.
and they're so proud of it.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, and some has, put in toilets, which is a big deal because they don't have toilets like we have toilets. Their toilet is out in the field.
Oh.
So for them to have money for themselves that they've earned to sustain themselves that way, to put in their little homes is amazing.
Awesome.
And then iron sheets. We don't call them iron sheets here. We call them a roof. But, they don't have a roof the way we have a roof.
Exactly.
It's the iron sheets to help protect them.
Exactly.
So that the elements are not entering in. One lady testified that her sister's child was staying with her, and the girl couldn't go to school because, again, school fees is a big issue. She was able, through the businesses she created through these pigs, to send her niece to school.
Amen.
So, it's just amazing stories. They have gardens.
Absolutely.
And they grow crops and then they sell. That's their businesses. It's
awesome.
just, God is good.
Awesome.
God is good.
Be right back with more stories and more projects that she's doing on ground in Uganda.
Thank you. Just here with the cook and the chef over here. And so she's preparing the meal for the kids. And then over here is beef, right? Beef. And so this wonderful lady, what is your name again? What is your name? Selma? Yeah. This wonderful lady, Selma, has been with us for 6 years. Each year, and also the chef. And just preparing for us so that the kids can have a good meal. And we're grateful. We're so grateful. Thank you. So, well, you want to say something?
Welcome back to the world around us and to the Pearl of Africa, impacting villages in Africa ministries, and our guest, Esther Turner. She's been amazing us with all these stories of her. I call them trips, but they're really mission trips sent by God for her with a purpose and a goal in mind. So we were talking about the Piggery
Yes.
project, which is so cool.
Yeah.
What other projects do you have there, or have you started there?
Okay. So of course we always feed the children. Everywhere I go, when I go to a church or when I go to the orphanage, we provide some sort of feeding for them. Because these kids, they really don't get a good meal. They eat porridge,
Mm.
and it's not a good look. But it's something that they're accustomed to. It's something that they don't complain about because that's all they have. So if I can provide something different like rice and some meat and things like that, they're really so grateful for that, and it goes a long ways with them, and it's something that they look forward to.
That's a lot of children that you feed,
Yeah,
because I see the videos.
yeah,
You got to go on the Facebook page, Impacting Villages in Africa Ministries. And those are the videos that we're talking about. You can also see the videos on her website. And they are just amazing videos. They're not really long videos, they're clips. Because she's giving you just a glimpse of what she actually is doing over there. Because she wants to be accountable. She wants to be very responsible with her job.
Yes.
This is a big job, and it's all for God. So
Yeah.
she has to make sure that you know and that you can see, and those that don't know, you can come and see. And if you want to get involved in one way or another, you can.
Yeah.
So go on the Facebook page or go on her website.
Thank you. So we feed the children, and then there's one community in particular that we specialize in feeding a lot of kids, and we have fed up to 400 kids at this one location over time. And it's in like a street village. It's closer to town. It's not really deep in the village, but these are kids that are kind of like street children. And so we go and we feed them. We play games with them. We have activities with them. And we are getting ready to expand in that particular village. Yeah, we're really going to expand.
Those are where the teenagers are.
No, that's not where the teenagers are.
Okay.
That's the street ministry with
Okay.
the boys, with the teen boys.
Okay.
But these are kids that range from maybe 3 or 4 to maybe 10 or 11.
Oh, they're
It's
small.
smaller kids.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we had the Easter egg hunt?
Yes.
The kids were,
Yes.
we hid the eggs, and
Mhm, and
they've never experienced anything like that before. I mean, these are things that we do here.
See.
But those particular kids, and I'm not saying that they don't do it at all in Uganda, but in that particular
Right.
community,
Right.
because of who they are and where they live, they don't have the resources for that. So we had a lot of fun with the kids there. But we don't just feed them, we engage them, we teach. Even my son, he preaches. My daughter, she preaches.
I've seen you preach there.
Yes, I
yeah,
preach as well.
I've seen you.
Yeah. And my pastor and other people that walk along with us, because we have a staff there. They're not paid staff; they're volunteers. And some of these staff, people that move around with us, they actually leave their jobs. They tell their bosses, "Listen, Mommy Esther is coming. She's doing a lot for our country, and I have to be with her."
Wow.
And I
That's
tell them,
dedication.
that's dedication.
Yes.
And I say to them, please don't do that, because this is your income. I'm not expecting you to. They go, no, Mom, this is holiday time, or business is slow. That's how they
To
do
be with
over
you.
there. So I don't get involved if they. I feel like they know what they're doing. They know what limits that they have, and I'm just appreciative of what they do. So. The staff, we get together, we have relay races, and they play their soccer, which is their football,
I saw you teaching them all sorts of games that they had not played before.
Yeah.
Because, to expose them to something new,
Yeah.
that they have all this sadness around them.
Yes.
So why not bring
Some
some
joy,
happiness, some
yes,
joy?
yes,
Put a
yes.
smile on their face in
Yeah.
the middle of the day. Who
Yeah,
cares?
I know. It's
It's
amazing.
it's awesome
Yeah.
to see that.
Yeah.
What other projects do you have there?
So-
Or ministries. I
Okay,
call
yeah,
them
ministries.
projects.
Yes, no, it's okay. So we're really excited about the sanitary pad
Yes.
ministry, which is really amazing. And what happens is in these third world countries, not just in Uganda, but it's a big problem in African third world countries, where during that time of the month when the girls are menstruating, they cannot go to school because they don't have anything to protect themselves. They don't have the
Okay.
money to buy pads. And so one time I was there. I was at a conference or something, and I saw all these teenagers there, these teen girls there, and I was just curious as to why they were not in school. And I asked them. I said, "What are you doing here? Why are you not in school? You know, it's 12 o'clock. How come you're not in school?" And they go, "Mom, it's that time of the month." And I go, "What are you talking about?" I had no clue what they were talking about. And
Oh, wow.
they said to me, "You know, we during this time of the month we can't go because we can't protect ourselves." They
Wow.
use cloth, rags, whatever they can to try to
For
protect
that.
themselves. And it's still, of course, you know, it comes through. Then, of course, the boys laugh at them, so they just stay home. So
Oh, wow.
I said, "No, this has to stop.
Oh, wow.
This has to stop." I became very proactive about going out and buying sanitary napkins. I even bought it while I was there at that trip
Wow.
at the store, and I left some with the pastors. And I said, "You give it to the girls who are in most
Yeah.
need."
Because
Then
that's
when
a lot of days out of
Yes,
school.
out of school, and then they get left behind
Yes.
because you think this the
Now they got to catch up.
right, and because you know the
Yep.
government, they don't care that
Mm-mm.
you know you can't protect yourself.
Mhm.
If you don't make those classes, you have to repeat.
Wow.
So I began bringing suitcases full of sanitary napkins
I
from
remember
this
that.
side.
I remember
And then
that.
after a while, I said, "Wait a minute. This is only putting a Band-Aid on the problem.
Yeah.
This is not going to
Mm-mm.
fix this because what happens after they finish? Now they still can't go to school.
They're back to zero
They're back
again.
to zero again."
Yeah.
So I did some research and I found this company called AfroPads, and they are located right in Uganda.
Oh, perfect.
And it's a kit, and you've seen the picture
Yes.
of it where it has 3 to 4 of those reusable pads. And it's not reusable the way it sounds to our ears,
Right.
because for us we think, "Oh, you're going to reuse the same
Yeah.
thing?" No. You know, remember,
Mhm.
these people are used to washing their clothes every
Every day.
day.
Mhm.
They don't have washer and dryers
No.
like us. They don't
Mm-mm.
have that luxury.
Mhm.
They wash them out, they hang them up. So with these pads, they're self-contained, they're padded. They even have one for overnight, which is a little bit
Thicker.
more thicker.
Mhm.
And then they hang them up at night, and they always have one reusable pad available to them during the day. Inside it also has like a little pouch, and they can roll it up, of course, and put it inside.
Mhm.
But it's really nice the way it's packaged. It's comfortable. It doesn't.
And it's reusable
It's
for a year,
reusable
right?
for up to a year.
That's,
Now,
that's
depending,
perfect for them.
yes, depending on the individual and how their flow pattern is,
Mhm.
it could be even longer. So it just
Okay.
depends on how much you use and how much you wash it
Mhm.
out
Mhm.
and things of that nature. So we've had this project now. We're going into our third year. When I go back, we're going to do this
Good.
project again. And I
Good.
want to just thank my supporters,
Good.
because I have a lot of supporters who
Mhm.
really have jumped on the bandwagon with that project. They love that.
Mhm.
Because you're saving a child's life, you're educating a child. That child is now being able to go to school and not
Exactly.
left behind.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
And the females need that.
and they do.
They need
They
that.
do.
Being left behind is not okay.
Yeah. Even the ladies there was, "Oh, can I have a pack?" I go, "No, no, no, no.
It's for the kids.
It's
for the kids.
It's for the kids. It's not for
Just
you."
for the kids.
But you know, it's just amazing how that project has really, and there's video because you
Mhm.
posted it on my website.
That's right.
Of this one girl that
Mhm.
got up and she was the spokesperson
Mhm.
for all the other teenagers that were there, and she just thanked all of the supporters and said, "Just this one thing,
Mhm.
just this one
Has
thing
changed her life.
changed our lives.
Yeah.
We can go to school.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about how we're going to get the money to buy these
Because they were
pads.
very concerned about not being in school.
Yes.
They were very,
Yes.
they were truly concerned about
Yes.
it. That was important to them.
Yeah.
You know, we're being left behind. We don't want to be left behind.
Right.
We want to get educated, but we can't because we
Yes.
have this situation.
Yes.
So that was a great, great project.
Yeah.
What else do you have
Okay,
over
so
there?
we also partner with an amazing guy, Mark. He's the youth pastor there at one of the churches, and he has his own ministry, Hope Hearts Ministry. Hi, Mark.
That's the one
and-
that caught my attention.
Yeah, and he has these amazing boys that live on the street.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, something
They're
happened
homeless.
to them. They're homeless.
Mhm.
And a lot of them are on drugs. And so we bring them off of the street into safe communities.
Okay.
And he has a church now that he's doing his ministry out of for those
Nice.
boys. And so I partner with him, and I come and I bring T-shirts for those boys. A lot of the people from my church come. Latricia and Denise, and even Seneda has come to be a part. Some of my cousins. My mom even helps us when we do the packing and everything for these boys and for the other kids as well. But for these teen boys, we really have a heart for them. I
Yeah.
love those boys so much.
And how young are they?
These boys range from 8 years old to 19.
Out in the streets,
Out on the
homeless.
street, homeless.
No parents.
No parents.
No sibling.
Yeah.
No nothing.
Yeah.
Just them out there.
Yeah. And so we do a lot of fun things with them as well. We do coloring with them. I mean, you'd be surprised that these teen boys, they love coloring because most of these kids have not even been in school. They
No.
live on the street.
They know nothing.
So they still have that sort of
Yeah.
child
In them.
in them
Right.
to be able to
Right.
color. And we color with, you might have seen some of the pictures.
Mhm.
We color, and then we do a feeding with
Mhm.
them. So this time when I come, Mark has organized 60 boys
Oh,
that will be coming. I mean,
it is a big. When I first saw the video, that I asked you, well, who are they? And you
Yeah.
said, those are the homeless children.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah,
Because they were so tiny.
yeah, yeah.
And when I asked you the age and you said 8, I said, I can't imagine a little kid out there like that.
Yeah.
No
It's very
home,
sad.
no food,
Yeah.
no shelter, nothing.
Yeah.
No one to say, hey, can I have some bread tonight?
Yes.
I'm hungry,
Yeah.
or a cup of soup or something.
Yeah.
Nothing. And what I loved even more was that you brought the word of God to them,
Yeah.
so that their minds could change.
Yeah.
Something you wanted to trigger something in their
Yes.
thought, and they are very attentive when
Yeah.
you're talking to them, and I like that
Yeah.
because they do want to change.
Yeah.
You can see it in their eyes when they're looking at you.
Yeah.
There's some that might walk away because I saw a few of them walk away, but the majority
Yeah.
will sit there and listen,
Yeah.
very attentive to what you're saying. And you are exactly their mother because you're doing this to them. And I'm like, oh my God, Esther, what are you doing?
That natural instinct comes out, right? They're my children.
I said, she must be saying, why are you out here doing this? I'm like, oh, Esther, don't do that.
Oh my God.
But it's so cool to see her interact
Yeah.
with all of these children, and then on above that, you're with the villagers, the adults, and
Yes.
the seniors
Yes.
that help you,
Yeah.
and that most of them need help, and you're right there for
Yes.
them.
Yes.
So I mean, you're doing just great stuff. What else do you have?
Okay, so I think the final project is the water project. I
Yes.
wanted to save the best for last,
Yes,
and we're so excited about that one.
that's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one, and I had a dream to put in a well. And actually, in the promo video, we talked about that. We said we
Mhm.
want to put in a well, but it's very expensive
Yeah.
to do that. And again, accountability is important because engineers are involved. You
Yes.
gotta dig holes and this.
You got
and
to do it properly.
And you gotta
Yes,
do it properly, and that means I would have to go back on ground to do it. I'm not gonna entrust anybody on ground
Right.
to do that for me.
Mhm.
Even though I know they're very capable, but But
Yeah,
I
but you
have to
wanna
be
see
I
for
want to
yourself.
see for myself
Yes, yes.
and make sure because, I want things done
Yes.
the proper way and nothing mishandled or anything
Yes.
like that. So, one of the pastors there, Pastor Charles Lataya, he said to me, Mommy Esther, there's another way we can do this. He said, we can put in a water tanker. And
They're huge.
during our rainy season, the water collects. It goes on the
Mhm.
side of the school or on top of the school, depending on how the
Mhm.
setup is. And during that time of their rainy season, the water collects, and then the kids can drink from that rather than
Mm.
going all the way down 2-3 miles to the dirty pond. And I know you've
Yes,
seen
I've
that
seen that.
that dirty pond, and I
I
think
saw
there's a
that.
picture here in the brochure
Yes,
that
I
I
saw
showed you.
that.
And
Mhm.
they drink that nasty water. And
You'll see the videos on her Facebook.
Yeah.
Because when we revamped everything, we made sure to keep certain videos on there because we wanted to show you, the supporters, the audience, the followers, the before
Mhm.
and after.
Right.
She wants you to see that she's making a difference. Because if just to take a trip, just to say that you took a trip to Africa,
No.
she doesn't need that.
No.
She doesn't. Trust me, she doesn't need that. But she makes sure that she's making a difference in their lives. First, she makes them be viable on their own, independent on their own, and not on, well, we gotta wait for Mommy Esther to come back. That's number one. And number two is that she provides the things that they need so that they can be independent. And she teaches them how to create these things. Because they were building it with you.
Yes, you saw that, right?
They were putting it together with you.
That was so amazing.
Awesome to see them do that.
Yeah.
And they were so proud of themselves at the end.
Oh my God. It was the last trip last year, when we put in that water tanker at that orphanage.
Yes.
That was the first time I actually was a part of that. It was a 3-day project. It only takes 3 days. As opposed to a well, it could take months.
Yeah, that's
it gets tricky with
And you
that.
never know.
And you never know.
Mhm.
So I actually plan my time out in my schedule. When we were talking about schedules and making sure that things are where it needs to be. And I knew I needed 3 days. I talked to the lady who was the head of the orphanage, Mama Fatuma, and she told me that it would take about 3 days for it. So a lot of that time, my pastor came, and the rest of the team saw our Impacting Villages T-shirts and everything. Yeah,
they went shopping with you.
Oh my God! Yeah,
to get all the materials.
Yes.
They taught you about all the materials in the warehouse.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was so amazing. So we have 2 tankers in 2 locations.
Okay.
In a town outside of Masaka, which is about 2 hours outside of Kampala city limits.
Okay.
I'm careful not to give too much information in terms of location, just for privacy reasons. But we give God all the glory and honor for that location. And the way I do things is when I have major projects like that with these people, I have to have a relationship with you.
Yes.
And it has to be at least a year.
Okay.
You can't just come to me and say, oh, I need a tanker.
Yeah.
Because we don't want things mishandled. We don't want tankers removed and then sold for other things. I mean, remember, this is a third world country,
right?
And people are starving and dying and very poor. And so, we're not justifying the fact that they may do something like this. Of course, we don't. We don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen. So I have to make sure that I do the right thing to make sure that it doesn't happen.
Right.
And so you need to have a relationship and understand people. Make sure that they're following the vision. That they we have good communication. That of course they have to speak good English because I have to be able to communicate with them back and forth.
Although your interpreter, you took out the finger and he took out the finger, and I said, no, don't teach him the finger. Because he's doing exactly what she was doing, and that was so hilarious to me. I'm like, what is he doing? It's this instant connection with the people there.
Yeah.
That you could see that's very real.
Yeah.
and you can't do all that work if you don't have that.
Yeah.
It would be impossible
Yeah.
because you would have a block
Yeah.
everywhere you go.
Yeah.
But you have this instant connection, and they feel so secure and so comfortable around you, and they allow you to do these things for them,
Yeah.
and they're very open to learning.
Yeah. I praise God for that.
You have to be open to learn. You have to be very open-minded for that,
Yeah.
so that you can change your living the way you are.
Yes.
But now I want to ask you the bigger question. Why there? You live here.
Because God said, go there. We all have our purpose. Many of us know what it is. Many of us do not.
Mhm.
But when you discover your purpose and you know exactly what you're supposed to do,
Mm.
then you don't go to the left or to the
Mhm.
right. You don't look back.
Mhm.
You look straight ahead.
Mhm.
And you keep it real.
Mhm.
And you do what you need to do for the people.
Mhm.
I have had many people ask that same question. Well, there's poverty here, and we
Homelessness
need to,
here.
homeless is here. Why do you have to go over there? And I do support my community here.
Yes, you do.
And when I have my fundraisers,
Mhm.
and you was my honoree at my
Mhm.
last fundraiser,
Mhm.
this is my way of giving back to community
Mhm.
by saluting you.
Mhm. And I've seen you in other organizations donate
Yes.
and volunteer your time
Yes.
and bring things to them.
Yes.
So it's not just in Africa.
No.
You do
Yeah,
work here.
I do a lot, and I don't like to talk much about me.
Mhm.
You've read my resume, and only because I needed to
Mhm.
put that together that you know these things. But I'm even almost embarrassed when people
Yeah,
begin
I asked
to
her for
read
the
it.
resume, and it was difficult to get.
Yeah. I mean,
she said, "B, it's not about me. It's
No,
not about me.
no.
Just do the website."
No,
And I'm
no.
like, "Yeah, but they need to know who's behind
Yeah.
all of this, who's
But-
creating, who's
Yeah.
bringing God's word."
Yeah, no, I understand, and I appreciate that, but it's just so much of a bigger picture for me.
Mhm.
And back to my work in the communities, I've done many things, and I'm very much like my dad, that I do my work very quietly. So many people may not know that I'm involved in this or I'm involved in that, that I help here or help there, because I don't talk about it. But they only know about the work in Uganda because
That's your passion.
That's my passion. That's
That's
what
your
God has
passion.
told me to do. And I have to be accountable because people are supporting me with this.
Mhm.
So that's why Uganda. That's why Uganda. I have to just say this, that there was a gentleman that worked with me on my job many, many years ago, and he's from Uganda. That's how I got started with mission work.
Oh.
And yes, and he asked me to come, and I hesitated many, many years to go because I really didn't know what I was going for.
Mm.
And so when I found out that he was from there and that he, also had his own organization and he wanted to take some missionaries there, I went for the experience. Never knew in a million years that I would
That would
go.
be it.
But God always sets you up. Sometimes you don't know when you're traveling down a certain path.
Mm. He's
that
preparing you
he's
for something.
preparing you for something. Because I first started out working at the Katrina disaster.
Oh.
God had me in Mississippi in an airplane hangar with on bunk beds with about 2,000 other people.
Oh, wow.
And so, I was part of the Red Cross.
Never knowing that you were
Yeah,
going to
never
land
knowing
somewhere else.
that I was going to land some. But he was
Yes.
preparing me
Yes.
then. He sets you
For the
up.
work now.
Yes.
Yes.
And so when I got to Uganda during that time period, 16 years ago, I met my lovely son, Joseph. And
Congratulations, because he graduated.
Yes, he graduated from
Yes, congratulations, big boy. I've been watching your life through Mom. I've been watching.
And also my daughter Brenda, she actually graduated last year in hairdressing.
Oh.
But she has a double major in cosmetology. So we're going to really celebrate her because that will be the complete the completion
Both of
of
them.
her
Yeah.
degree. Yeah. So,
Great.
but I met my son and my daughter at an orphanage. They were 6 years old, and I never looked back.
Wow.
Every single year, I've been there in their lives, supporting them, doing things with them, and now they know the ministry and they can run the ministry.
Amen.
So that's
Amen.
why Uganda,
Amen.
because I know my purpose.
Yes.
And because when you're out of line and you're over here in somebody else's lane,
It's
doing
not gonna
what
work.
they are doing because it's in the name of community work here, well, that's your call here. And I
Right.
salute you for that.
Right.
But, don't hate on
Mm-mm.
me because God has
Send
called
me-
me there.
Absolutely.
I've not neglected my people here. I love my
Absolutely.
people. But we
Amen.
also have our
People
people
there.
there.
Absolutely.
And that's where we came from.
Absolutely.
And so why not
Absolutely.
be there for them
Absolutely.
and have a voice? Have a voice,
Mhm.
you know.
And you're their voice.
I'm their
you're
voice.
You're their voice.
Yes.
You travel everywhere
Yes.
and you bring their message
Yes.
of, listen, we're here.
That's right.
Don't forget us.
That's it.
Because they don't want to be forgotten.
Right.
Any last message you want to give the audience?
I just want to just pay tribute to my family, to my sons, Georgie and Harold, my grandchildren. They all support me very
Beautiful.
much. My mother, my present day dad, Poppy, I love you so much. And I want to say that my late father, the Matthew S. Turner, was an amazing man,
Mhm.
and he changed the fabric of Harlem,
Yes.
New York, and
Mhm.
he worked on that fabric and redeveloping through community development, economical development, and the children, the seniors, and all of that. He was an amazing person, so much so that we have a street renamed after him.
Beautiful.
The New York City honored
Beautiful.
his legacy
Absolutely.
when I went to ask if we can have a street renamed
Absolutely.
after him. And so you saw the sign
Yes,
at
I
the,
did.
at the fundraiser.
That was beautiful.
And so it's at 3 points at the Triangle Building at 122nd Street at Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. It's right across the street from the Harriet Tubman Square. So my dad is in good company.
There's
And
a
it's
reason
such-
for everything.
It's such an honor. So I feel like I'm really kind of
Yes.
continuing his legacy. And it was very clear to me a couple years ago. God just kind of spoke that in my spirit that, you are continuing his footsteps. Yeah.
Amen.
So
Amen.
I just
Well,
pay
I
honor
thank you.
to him.
I thank you for being on the world around
Thank
us
you so
and
much
for bringing that
having me.
message.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, and make sure that you change someone's life, someone's mindset. One mindset at a time, that's all it takes. See you next time.
Bye-bye.